Hi, I'm Nat. He's Matt. We've got your geek news right here. And today we're talking about, drumroll, Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man.
It's true. It's not just any Spider-Man.
No.
This one is going to be amazing.
Mhm.
Now, this is the thing. This is a reboot, and it is corporate filmmaking incarnate. It's only been 5 years since Sam Raimi screwed the pooch on Spider-Man 3 and gave us a absolutely unremarkable Venom and a movie that killed the franchise.
And the big question that a lot of people are asking is, was it really necessary to reboot it so soon after the previous reboot? I don't know. I mean, the way I feel about it is, are there no more original ideas in Hollywood? That's how I feel every time we see a reboot, especially when it comes so soon after the previous one. But anyway, question is, was it necessary to do a new origin story for Spider-Man? What do you think?
That's the real question. It's not just a reboot, because, you know, when they rebooted the Hulk, because they really ruined it with Eric Bana, they made a pretty decent one with Edward Norton.
Right.
And all of a sudden it was better. And then now the stuff that they're going to be doing with Ruffalo isn't a reboot, it's just more of the story. But this is a straight up, crap, it's going to cost too much money to make a movie that's going to be any good, so let's just reboot it. It kind of sucks. So I wanted to hate this movie on principle, but unfortunately, it was friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
Pretending that Raimi's trilogy never existed. Let's review Webb's Amazing Spider-Man as a film, and then, you know, we can talk about this whole idea of comparing and contrasting Maguire to Garfield and so on and so forth.
Oh my gosh.
But let's just do this as a movie. Because honestly, this was Spider-Man done right. He was a wisecracking, heart of gold vigilante on the run with, you know, homemade web shooters.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got to say, like, I loved the POV cam. Every time you saw Spidey swinging from building to building, the action sequences just got my heart pounding. I thought it was the POV perspective done right. It was definitely worth watching in IMAX 3D. Not just IMAX, not just 3D.
Really?
Both.
Now, I saw it in 3D, but not in IMAX. But I really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, no,
now,
it was fantastic.
For me, the chemistry between Garfield and Stone was really good. Having Gwen Stacy at the start of a Spider-Man story, that's the way it's supposed to be, but more on that later.
No. I personally have to say, I loved Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and I loved them together. What I do want to say is that they did not feel like high school students at all. I mean, fine, good casting, but in that sense, I mean, every time they had an angsty scene together, I don't know, man, like, that felt pretty tense to me. And I had one fan tell me that he actually thought they were overdoing the awkward scenes. He's like, oh, it was way too exaggerated. Personally, I thought it was cute, a little painful to watch at times, but doesn't it just make you remember what it was like to be an angsty teenager, kind of, like, well, in love, in lust, whatever you want to call it? I thought it was well done.
Yeah, you know what? I really did enjoy the cast, whether it was the villains or just the antagonists.
Yeah, what's his name? Yeah, exactly. Reese Fonz. He was awesome. And my brother got a huge kick out of Dennis Leary and Martin Sheen. Like, oh man, that was awesome.
It's an amazing cast. And honestly, I'm worried where they might go with J. Jonah Jameson in the next one, because he was perfect, but we'll get down to the original. We'll get down to the comparison soon.
Oh my god. Okay, but
the
one thing I do want to say actually is, what the F was wrong with the lizard's face? He was awesome, but I mean, like, why was he not a lizard in the face? Yeah? Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and I can see why, you know, the lizard looked really wet and CGI, but it's because he's a lizard, and so I think they went for this wet look. But the face, I mean, they were trying to make him expressive,
more human. But I mean, if you look at the comics, the lizard has a lizard face, you know.
Yeah. No, you got a good point.
Anyway.
Now, bringing us back around to the lizard at the end of the film, let's talk about this post-credit scene that Spider-Man is trying to rip off, you know, Marvel Studios a little bit here, with this sort of leading into something, and who knows what it is, because it was awful. To say nothing of the fact that it was already in the trailer, so it's not a surprise, but that bit about, did you tell the boy about his father? And you have no idea who's saying this. It's some guy in the shadows. So, as an educated comic book fan, one must ask, is this Norman Osborn, or is this maybe Ezekiel? Are we going down the Straczynski route? There are some really neat things that you can ask about that, but that doesn't make it a good scene. It was kind of just a crappy scene.
Strange and cryptic.
Yeah. So that's it as a film. But let's talk about it as a soulless, cash-grabbing reboot, which is really what it is.
Oh my gosh. Now, I'm going to take it from this one perspective, and I know this is going to offend a lot of people, a lot of fans, my brother included potentially, and I'm sorry about that, but I am choosing to honor only one Spider-Man film in my lifetime, and that's this one released in 2012. Now, I'm not, okay, seriously, I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the previous 3 films. They were great. They had, obviously, their positive attributes and all that good stuff, but I really enjoyed this film as a superhero movie.
To the point that you are, like, unseeing the other ones? You are disavowing them?
Well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that. And part of the big reason for me, I mean, we'll get to the rest of them, but a cast, in my opinion, is a huge part of the storytelling experience. It's a big part of the storytelling experience and the story enjoyment experience. Personally, Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst were issues for me. They have always been issues for me. And by sheer virtue of the fact that the cast was better in this one, yeah, I will honor this film as a better, more enjoyable Spider-Man film. Dare I say, potentially even more accurate? I don't know. You know, we'll get into that. We'll get into that, right? But
just looking at the cast, I mean, Garfield is better than Maguire, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, he nailed it. He nailed Parker, he nailed Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Stone is better than Snaggletooth.
Yeah.
I honestly, it's not hard. I think I could have played a better Mary Jane than Snaggletooth. Sally Field is better than that anonymous old lady that they had in Sam Raimi's. And Martin Sheen is better than that anonymous old man that they had playing Uncle Ben.
How can you argue? Yeah,
I think they really knocked it out. Like, it just worked for me. The cast was amazing.
Oh my god, the cast was fantastic. And I mean, personally, I don't know about you, but I remember coming home after school when I was in high school and watching the animated series.
Yeah.
And I really felt like, again, Andrew Garfield did a great job at bringing that personality to life. Like, that smart-ass attitude and the comments and all that kind of stuff, I just thought played out way better and way more naturally with Garfield than with Tobey Maguire, because Tobey Maguire is just an awkward human being, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Garfield was the way to go. And honestly, from a villain standpoint, the Lizard was just a much more believable villain. Like, I found the Green Goblin, I mean, the design was awful. He kind of ruined the last half of the first Spider-Man film for me, because, I mean, anything would be an improvement over that horrible design. And Dafoe honestly played it as a comic book villain. And
Dafoe was epic, though. Like, we love Dafoe.
Yeah, Defoe's awesome, but honestly, Rhys Ifans was not a caricature. Rhys Ifans played Connor totally natural, not campy or goofy, insane, but, I mean, the character was on some pretty wicked drugs by the time he was insane.
Maybe Rhys Ifans was also on some wicked drugs. Who knows?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I mean, I've got to say, all in all, this is clearly the best Spider-Man film in existence.
Yes! Yes!
That's it. That's it. It's better than Spider-Man 2, which everyone says, oh, it's amazing. You know what? Go rewatch it. Doc Ock is terrible. Nothing is good about that movie like you think it is. After watching this, it has set a bar. Webb absolutely showed us how amazing Spider-Man can be. And I cannot wait for the next one. Spectacular Spider-Man?
Absolutely.
Web of Spider-Man? I don't know. Whatever it's called. It better be good, because the bar is high now, Mark. The bar is high.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that one.
All right, so next up we have a Batman review that we need to get to. Apologies for these being late. I mean, the Mississauga Independent Film Festival kind of took up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Matt was involved with it as well, so we were really busy through all of, like, halfway through July, all the way into, it's August already.
Pretty much, but we've been getting all of your notes and all your postings and all of that good stuff, so we hear ya. We hear ya. There's a lot of geeky debate that we need to get into, and a lot of this commentary, right?
Absolutely. So tell us what you think about Spider-Man. Let us know, and keep an eye out for our Batman review, because that's up next.
That's right. Bye.